of course, the premiere was here in Salem, Massachusetts. Salem is known for the witch trials of 1692. The Sudbury Devil takes place 15 years before the Salem witch trials. It takes place in the aftermath of King Philip's War, where the Puritans fought a whole confederation of various native peoples. I think it's fascinating that the Salem witch trials were happening around the time of another war. We call it King William's War. In Europe, it's called the 9 Years' War or the War of the League of Augsburg. And you think, well, who cares about that? It's really important. Within a 4-year period, you've got the Glorious Revolution in England, where James II, who, by the way, is the reason why New York is called New York, is overthrown by William, Stadtholder of the Netherlands, creating William and Mary. That's who they are. So, Glorious Revolution, War of the League of Augsburg, where Louis XIV's France wants to eat more countries, but then the Dutch, they basically take control of England, or rather the rule of the Netherlands unites England. He does horrible things in Ireland. And meanwhile, here in North America, James II created what was called the Dominion of New England, where he combined all the New England colonies, including the New York colony that he conquered, into a single political entity. There was a revolution to overthrow that, concurrent with the Glorious Revolution. No one really connects those two things. But immediately afterwards, a couple of years afterwards, as the war in Europe is raging on, there's war in North America too, especially on the frontier between New England and New France in Quebec. And it is in this environment that the Salem witch trials are happening. After all, the Puritans have basically almost lost the glory days of the mid-1600s with Cromwell. Those are long gone now. And who can we, as a failed revolutionary society, blame for our problems? Witches. Of course, witches aren't real. But the real witch is the powers that be, isn't it? I think that's a great, do I want to say metaphor? It's not really so much a metaphor as an idea to play with cinema and with history education, because no one really thinks of connecting things going on in different parts of the world at the same time. But considering the Atlantic world, where the Americas and Europe are actually politically linked, it's vital to do so. That perspective is finally being appreciated in terms of the age of revolutions, from the American Revolution to the French Revolution, to the Haitian Revolution, to the Spanish American Revolution. But that same idea set should be applied to the 1600s as well, both in terms of the English Civil War, where New England stood with Parliament. I think the Mid-Atlantic colonies stood with the King, and there was fighting. I need to look into that more. But also with the Glorious Revolution and its aftermath, which has its impact here in Salem, Massachusetts.